The low inconceivable family is currently pouring outside, so sorry if it's hard to hear me or if I lose power during this workout here, but we're going to get right into it with a little warm-up. For the workout, we're going to have some box jumps, we're going to have some push press, and we're going to have some renegade rows. We're going to try to hit those muscle groups. First thing is 30 seconds of walking high knees, so 1, 2, 3, go. Just start alternating high knees here. If you want to use your hands as a target, it's a great way to make sure that you're getting your knees high enough. And we're about halfway done. If you can't, start rotating side to side, warm up that trunk a little bit more. 5 more seconds here. Oh, there's some thunder. Going to some quad stretch now. So alternating sides, quick hold and pull. Try to keep your hips square, and then drive that knee down to the ground here. Warming up the quad, a little bit of the hip flexor. If you want to hold a little bit longer on each side, you can do that as well. But trying to keep this kind of a dynamic movement to also get the blood flowing a little bit. So next, we are going to move on to some inchworm to push up. And that looks just like this. You start tall, hands down, keep that back as straight as you can. Move out to a push-up position, and then walk back on up. Standing tall at the top. So we're warming up the core, stretching the hamstrings, warming up the shoulders and the arms. Should have time for maybe 4 or 5 reps of this in the 30 seconds. It's nice and slow. So we're coming up on the end of the 30 seconds. Let's do one more inchworm to push up here. And now we're going to go into 30 seconds of tuck jump. So what that looks like is we're going to jump and pull the knees up. If that's too intense, you can continue to do high knees here. We'll do tuck jumps with you. So trying to get those knees tall, pulling them up with the hip flexor and the abdominals. 5 more seconds. All right. Relax that. Now we're going to get some nice easy reverse lunges. So try to keep those hands tall so that we keep our chest and torso up, and just step back, keeping 90 degrees in both knees, driving through the heel of that front foot to come up. Getting the blood flowing for sure now. Try to spike the heart rate and then do a little stretching. The next thing we're going to do, some push up to down dog. So this time we're going to stay with our hands on the ground. We're going to do a push up and then drive the hips upward and try to get your head through the window of the shoulders, back out to a plank, then a push up. If you need to do these push ups from your knees, that's okay as well. Push yourself up and then come to down dog. Let's get a couple more reps here. Here's 1. Stretch those hammies, drive the glutes to the sky. And 1 more. All right. Next thing is some air squats, just for quality here. So you want to make sure you have good form. Feet just outside the hips, toes pointed slightly outwards. We're going to start with the hips back and then drop down to 90 degrees or parallel with your legs. And then stand up tall with the hips fully extended. We're going to get about 10 reps here. Nice and slow and controlled. You need to throw your arms out in front of you to help keep your chest up. It's a good practice or a good cheat to do it. Let's get 2 more with me. Here's 1. And here's 2. All right. Now we'll continue to warm up the core and shoulders a little bit, get some plank rotations. So we're going to get in that plank position, either high or low. And we're going to just rotate sides here. Going to warm up that torso and the shoulders. If you're in a low plank, you're just going to be down around the forearms. If you need to, you can take it from the knees as well. Those knees down on the floor. So we got about 15 more seconds. Just slowly alternating. Feel a stretch in the pectorals and the shoulders on that reach. Try to keep your hips down. All right, let's get one more on each side. Here's 1 and 2. Okay, so now we want to talk a little bit about the movements that we have here. First thing is 10 box jumps. I'm going to set up a real box for the WOD video, but for now, I have my handy dandy little stepper here. So the easiest version of scaling box jumps is we're just going to do step ups, alternating sides. You want to plant your first foot up, drive through the heel, fully extend the hips at the top. And if you're going to be jumping, we want to sit back in that power stance like we're ready to catch a power clean here. Bring your arms back and then swim through. Full hip extension, so we really drive through with the hips. So it should look like this. Quarter squat, hands back, up. And you want to land tall. We don't want to see you landing on your box like this and then having to squat up every time, because that's a lot of extra squats. So drive through aggressively, land tall. So those are your, excuse me, those are your box jumps. Push press, pretty straightforward. With whatever object you have, hopefully you have a couple of dumbbells, or a barbell, or kettlebells, or cans of soup, whatever it is. Push press means that we get a little dip, and then we're going to push up and drive, and we don't re-dip. So once you drive up, you keep your legs straight. So you're just trying to use some momentum. So first thing we want to do is, just like our box jumps, we're going to practice that power position, hips back, knees slightly out, drive through the hips, fully extend. And when you feel that weightlessness because you've popped your hips, that's when you want to follow through with the arms. And then at the top position, you want your head through the window of the arms with the biceps right by the ears. So that's going to be your push press. You can cycle through like this. Next thing, we have renegade rows. So for renegade rows, we have 2 objects. Holy cow, lots of thunder. You'll be down in that plank position, feet slightly apart, weights just below the shoulders. You're going to take turns pulling up right to the pectoral. And you're going to try to keep your core in line, your body straight. So you don't want to do a whole bunch of this. You don't want to find yourself rotating like crazy. Try to keep the core straight. And those are your renegade rows. If you only have one object, you can do single arm renegade rows and switch sides, or you can do bent over rows, or maybe you hold an object like this. You get to a 90 degree with the front knee, and you're going to pull again to the pectoral here. So really trying to isolate the upper back and a little bit of the shoulders. For switching sides, same thing. Try to keep that arm right next to the inside of the body. Isolate the traps, the upper back, a little bit of the lats, and just pull that weight right into the pectorals. If you do have rings or a pull-up bar of some kind, we'll show you another alternative here. Ring rows. Basically gonna walk your feet out and then pull yourself up. So it's the same stimulus. You're utilizing the pull muscles here, trying to focus on inside of the upper back. And that's about it for the movements. If for push press you don't have any weights, you can do pike push-up instead, which is essentially you get into a down dog or a pike position, and then you're gonna do some push-ups. The cool thing about this move is you can make it really difficult by putting your feet higher up on objects. So you come forward with the head and then press to your head through the window. And then finally, we've already covered the options for the renegade rows. You can do this single arm bend over rows. So take a little break for a practice round. I want you to get 10 reps of all 3 of those movements just once through, and then come on back and we'll get through the WOD.